Something drew you here, something older than chance, quieter than coincidence. That pull you felt, that gentle stirring that would not leave you alone, that was me. I was the one calling. I have been calling for a long time, before the foundations of the world were laid. I saw this moment. I saw the road you would walk. I saw the valleys that would take your breath away, and the mountains that would seem impossible to climb. I saw every wrong turn and every long detour, and I made sure that through all of it, through every winding, painful, confusing mile of it, you would arrive right here. This moment was written in eternity, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be. I need you to hear something today, not with the part of you that analyzes and debates, not with the part of you that has been disappointed before and learned to hold hope at a distance. I need you to hear what I am about to say with the deepest part of you, and part that already knows it is true, that has been waiting to hear it spoken plainly. You are seen, you are known, you have never been forgotten. I have watched you in the quiet. I have been there in the hours when the house was still and sleep would not come, when your mind turned over every fear, every unanswered question, every burden you had no one to hand to. I sat with you in that silence. You thought you were alone in it. You were not. I was there, closer than you knew, holding more than you could see. I did not look away. I did not grow tired of your sorrow or impatient with your grief. I held every single one as something precious. Not one tear was wasted. Not one cry went unheard. You have never prayed into an empty room. Every word you ever sent toward heaven reached me, and every word mattered. I saw you give when you had almost nothing left. I saw you hold yourself together in public when you were falling apart in private. I watched you push through days that should have finished you. I watched you protect those you love, even when no one was protecting you. I witnessed the strength it took to keep believing when the evidence around you seemed to say that believing was foolish. I saw all of it. Not one moment has escaped my attention. I saw the betrayals that broke something in you. I watched the ones you trusted the most become the source of your deepest wounds. I witnessed how your kindness was used against you, how your loyalty was mistaken for weakness, how the people who should have covered you became the ones who exposed you to the cold. I watched you carry that pain quietly, refusing to become bitter, choosing to keep your heart open even when every instinct said to close it. That was not weakness. That was one of the most courageous things I have ever watched a person do. There were mornings you did not want to rise. There were seasons you prayed the same prayers. So many times they began to feel worn, like cloth that has been washed until it grows thin. You wondered if your faith was enough. You wondered if the silence from heaven meant the answer was no. My child, the silence was never no. The silence was not even silence. It was the sound of deep work being done in places you could not see. Every moment you held on when you wanted to let go, something in you grew stronger. Every time you chose trust when doubt would have been easier, something in you was being shaped for a purpose greater than anything you had asked me for. You were not forgotten in the waiting. A seed buried deep in dark soil cannot see the sun. It cannot feel the warmth of the season changing above it. It simply receives what I send down into the ground and grows. That is what was happening in your life during the long, quiet, seemingly fruitless stretch. You were growing deeper than you knew, stronger than you felt. There were nights you asked me why it was taking so long, why others seemed to move forward while you stayed still, why the door kept closing just when it seemed about to open. I heard every one of those questions. I want you to know, they were never impertinent. They were honest. And I love your honesty. You were not demanding more than I could give. You were reaching for what I had already promised. That kind of faith, the kind that keeps reaching even through the confusion, is not a small thing to me. And now something has changed. The season has turned. I cannot tell you the exact moment it shifted, but I can tell you that it did. Something is different now. You can feel it even if you cannot name it. There is a stirring that was not there before, a sense that the ground beneath your life is moving again, that something long dormant is beginning to wake. That is not imagination, that is confirmation. What is coming is not a small improvement on what you have known. It is the fullness of everything I promised, and I do not break my promises. Declare your amen, if you believe God has been with you through every season of your life. Now I need to tell you something that is going to reframe everything you have been through. something that will change the way you look at the hardest seasons of your life. Because there is something that has been happening in the unseen realm, something you did not fully understand while you were in the middle of it. The enemy has been terrified of you, not cautious, not slightly concerned, terrified. He has known things about you that you forgot about yourself. He has seen the anointing placed on your life, the calling, the assignment, the weight of purpose that was written over you before you took your first breath. He has watched heaven's investment in you, and he has known that when you finally step into the fullness of who I created you to be, something extraordinary will happen. Chains will break, hearts will open, lives will change. What I have placed in you carries the power to reach far beyond you. That is why he fought you so hard. He did not come against you because you were weak. He came against you because you were powerful. He did not oppose you because you were insignificant. He opposed you because your significance in my kingdom is far greater than he ever wanted you to discover. Every time he could make you feel small, worthless, forgotten, too far gone, he was buying time. He was trying to keep you from waking up to what you actually carry. Every setback in your life was not random misfortune. It was warfare. Every door that closed at the wrong moment, warfare. Every relationship that fell apart, strategic opposition. Every season of delay when breakthrough seemed so close and then pulled away. Not accident, not punishment, not divine abandonment. Warfare. The enemy does not waste resources on things that do not matter. He was terrified of your next season. He still is. Those who hurt you deepest and most deliberately, they were being used. I am not excusing what they did. What they did caused real damage and real pain, and I take that seriously. But the enemy worked through the people closest to you precisely because that is where wounds go deepest. He was not trying to inconvenience you. He was trying to make you abort your purpose. He was trying to make the pain so great that you would close your heart, give up your calling, and spend the rest of your days surviving instead of living. But you did not. You are still here, and that is not a small thing. That alone tells you something. That alone is a sign that what I placed in you is not finished. I have not changed my mind about you. I have not revised your calling based on what you have been through. I have not handed your assignment to someone else while you were in the valley. My gifts and purposes once given are not taken back. You are still marked. You are still chosen. The anointing on your life has not faded. It has been deepened by the very suffering the enemy meant to use against you. The fire was not punishment. It was preparation. Every moment inside it was doing something in you that comfort alone could never have built. The prolonged seasons of lack were not evidence of my absence. They were evidence of his fear. He was placing obstacle after obstacle in your path because he could see where the path was leading. He saw the destination even when you could not, and it frightened him. I want you to stop seeing your past through his eyes and start seeing it through mine. When I look at what you have walked through, I do not see a person diminished by their trials. I see a person refined by them. I see someone who has been tested at the deepest level and did not break. I see someone who chose faith when the evidence pointed everywhere else. I see someone who kept praying when the prayers felt hollow, who kept trusting when trust felt foolish, who kept their hands open when every wound in them said to close up and protect yourself. That is not a person who has been weakened. That is a person who has been made ready. And now I am telling you, his time of opposition in this season is over. The window he was trying to close is opening. The momentum he was trying to stop is building. What he designed to bury you has become the very thing that positioned you. What he sent to destroy you has become the foundation you are standing on. Do not mistake this for easy optimism. I am not giving you pleasant words to make you feel better for an hour. I am speaking a decree over your life. What I decree does not return void. What I declare in heaven becomes reality on the earth. And I am declaring it now. Every scheme formed against you in this season is being dismantled. Every weapon raised against you is being turned back. The enemy overplayed his hand. He pushed too far, pressed too hard, and crossed a line that made me move on your behalf. That is what you are feeling right now. That is the shift in the air. That is me moving. I know that you have come through this carrying wounds. I know the weariness in your bones is real. The places where trust was broken are real. The questions that linger at the back of your mind about whether you are enough, whether the damage is too deep, those are real too. I am not asking you to pretend otherwise. I am asking you to give those wounds to me, lay them down, and let me show you what I am about to do with every single one. Because I have been watching this whole time, working this whole time, holding you this whole time, and I am about to make the enemy regret every move he ever made against you. Say, I receive this, if you believe the enemy's assignment against your life is being broken right now. There are lies you have been living under, whispers that have been running so long in the background of your thinking that they began to feel like truth. I am about to dismantle every single one of them. The enemy told you that you are a failure. I say you are someone I have been forming into a world changer. The enemy whispered that you are too broken to be used. I say your brokenness is exactly what qualifies you for the assignment I have given you, because you have learned things in the broken places that the untested never could. The enemy told you that you missed your window, that you left it too late, that the season for your life has come and gone. I say your moment is now. I am opening doors that no force on this earth can shut. The enemy declared that you are forgotten, that no one of significance sees you or cares what becomes of you. I declare that you are chosen before the foundation of the world, that your name is written on the palms of my hands. The enemy screamed that you are worthless. I announce that you are priceless, worth the blood of my own son, worth every sacrifice, worth everything it costs to bring you back to me. The enemy said you will never recover from what happened. I say full restoration is coming, not a patched up version of what you had, but something rebuilt and renewed from the ground up. The enemy proclaimed that your best days are behind you. I prophesy that the days ahead are greater than anything that came before, not in spite of what you suffered, because of what you suffered. The suffering deepened you. The trials widened your capacity. You can carry more now than you could before, and what I am about to release requires someone who can carry it. The enemy said you made too many mistakes. I say your past is covered, and I remember your failures no more. The enemy insisted you are too weak for what lies ahead. I say my strength is made perfect in your weakness, that the very places where you run out of yourself are where my power rests most completely on you. The enemy told you that you are disqualified by your history. I declare that you are called and chosen according to my purpose, and no history under my forgiveness can disqualify you. The enemy claimed you are abandoned, that the people who matter have left, and those who remain do not understand. I say I will never leave you. I have been beside you through every valley, and I will be beside you through every mountain still ahead. You are accepted. You are held. You are never alone. Who are you going to believe? The voice of the accuser whose only purpose is to steal and destroy, or the voice of your Creator who gave everything to restore you? The lie that has dimmed your life, or the truth that sets you free? Choose now, not tomorrow. Now choose what you will allow to stand as true in your heart about who you are and what is coming for you. Now hear me on this. There is a seal that has been placed over your provision. It has been the source of the strain in that area of your life. The sense that no matter how hard you worked, the supply was never quite enough. That doors closed just before you could walk through them. That seal was never meant to be permanent. I allowed it as a testing season, to see if you would keep trusting me when nothing seemed to be working, to see if your faith was real or only present when conditions were easy. You passed. You did not do it perfectly. You wavered. You had your moments of doubt, but you did not abandon your faith. You did not close your hands. You did not walk away. And because of that, because of the faith you held when faith was the hardest thing to hold, the seal is cracking open right now. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed sown into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you, into the harvest I am preparing. Let your faith breathe for a moment. This is sacred ground, an act of trust made before any evidence arrives, before any proof appears. That is faith in its purest form, and I receive it. The provision seal is breaking open. Resources are being released that have been held in reserve. Provision will come from directions you did not anticipate, through pathways you did not think to look down. I say this not to paint an easy picture, but because it is what I have already set in motion. The supply that felt blocked is beginning to flow. What felt like perpetual lack is making way for a new season of overflow. Stop bracing for shortage. I know that is what long seasons of struggle teach a heart to do. It becomes a form of self-protection, a way of guarding against disappointment one more time. But a heart that is braced against loss cannot open wide enough to receive what is coming. A closed posture cannot gather what I am sending. Open your expectations, open your hands, open your belief to the possibility that this time is different. Because this time, it is the provision seal is open, and I am faithful to fill every space I open. There is a second seal I want to speak about now. The seal that has been placed over your relationships. This is the one that has been feeding the loneliness. The one that made you feel as though you could be surrounded by people and still feel profoundly alone. The one that kept the right connections just out of reach. That brought people into your life who could not see your value or chose not to honor it. That left you wondering if genuine connection was even something you were made for. I know the loneliness has been deep. I know there were seasons when you looked around at what surrounded you and felt the ache of being misunderstood, underestimated, or simply unseen. I know what it is to watch others walk in the connections you longed for while you stood at a distance. I am not dismissing that pain. I witnessed every moment of it. But I need you to understand something about why the isolation came. The clearing was not only the enemy's work. I allowed some of the emptying because what was filling your life was holding you back. Some of the connections that were removed were connections that were diminishing you, not building you, not calling out the greatness I placed in you, not walking with you toward what I had prepared for your life. Some of them were comfortable in ways that were actually keeping you small. You had outgrown certain relationships, but the security of the familiar made it impossible to move forward. So I cleared space, not to wound you, to make room. What I am sending into your life now cannot arrive until the space is prepared. You cannot put new wine into old wineskins. The connections I have been holding in preparation for you, the ones who will recognize the anointing on your life, who will open doors you could not open for yourself, who will stand beside you without needing to reduce you in order to feel secure. They cannot enter a life where there is no room for them. The clearing hurt, I know it did, but it was preparation, not punishment. People are being sent from places you would not think to look. They are already in motion. A mentor who carries keys to your next level is being positioned by an arrangement you did not orchestrate. A partner who understands your purpose is on the way. Someone who will look at you and immediately recognize what you carry. They are coming. These are not random meetings. These are encounters designed in eternity and time to the hour. When they arrive, you will know. Something in your spirit will recognize the divine fingerprint on the introduction. These connections will be different from what you have experienced before. They will not take more than they give. They will not shrink in the presence of your gifts. They will not compete with your calling or resent your growth. They will call it out. They will press you further into what I have placed in you. They will see in you what I have always seen, and they will refuse to let you settle for less. That is the nature of the divine connections I am sending. They do not flatter, they build. They do not accommodate your weaknesses, they help you grow past them. When you encounter them, hold on. They are rare, they are intentional. They are from me. I am also speaking about restoration. Not every broken relationship will be restored. Not all of them should be. And I will give you wisdom to know the difference. But some of the severed connections that still carry weight in your heart, the ones where grief, not relief, rises when you think of them, some of those are not over. Reconciliation is coming in those places. An apology is on its way from someone you had stopped expecting to hear it from. A conversation is coming that will change the way you understand what happened. Some bridges you thought were permanently burned are being rebuilt by my hand. I know you have been careful with your heart since the last time it was broken. I know the walls went up for good reason. I am not asking you to pull them down recklessly or to trust those who have not earned it. I am asking you to trust me. Trust that I can bring the right people through every wall you have built. Trust that I can restore what genuine divine purpose holds together. Trust that the deep hunger you carry for real community, for relationships where you can be fully known and still fully loved, is not you asking for too much. It is evidence that I made you for it. I do not create longings without the capacity to fulfill them. I do not make a heart that aches for belonging and then leave that ache permanently unanswered. The longing is there because the fulfillment is coming. The ache is there because the answer is real. You were not made for isolation. You were made for deep-rooted, faithful connection, the kind that sharpens you, that holds you accountable with gentleness, that speaks to what I placed in you without envy. That connection is being released now. The seal over your relationships is breaking. The isolation is not your permanent address. It was a chapter, a long, costly, necessary chapter, and the chapter is closing. When someone new crosses your path in this season, do not be so armored against disappointment that you miss a divine appointment. Pay attention in the unexpected places, a conversation that goes deeper than the surface, a person whose words land exactly where you needed them to, a connection that feels strangely familiar even though it is new. Those are not coincidences. I am in those moments. I am the one arranging them. Watch for the introductions I am making in your life. They are not by chance, they are by design. Now we come to the third seal, and this one is the deepest. This is the seal over your purpose. It is the one that has kept you in a long holding pattern, circling the same territory, feeling the restlessness of someone who knows they were built for more, but cannot seem to find the door that leads there. This is the seal behind the nagging sense that something is missing. Not from your circumstances, but from your life at its core. The quiet dissatisfaction that followed you even into seasons when things were relatively fine on the outside. That dissatisfaction was not ingratitude. It was a signal. I put it there. I designed you with a longing for your true calling, and that longing does not go quiet just because life gets busy or comfortable. It stays. It persists. It presses against the ordinary until you pay attention. If you have been feeling it, that is not a problem to manage. That is a call to answer. You were made for a specific assignment, not a general one, a specific one. I did not create you and then release you into the world with a vague hope that something meaningful might find you. I gave you gifts that point in a particular direction. I gave you a history that prepared you for a particular work. I gave you passions that light up when you move toward certain things and grow dim when you move away. I gave you a capacity for certain kinds of pain, the kind that breaks you open instead of just breaking you, the kind that makes you able to sit with others who are suffering what you once survived. All of that is intentional. All of it is pointing somewhere. The seal over your purpose was placed there in part because of timing, and in part because of fear. The timing I will speak to in a moment, but the fear, I want to address that first, because the fear of your calling is one of the most effective tools the enemy has used against you. The fear took many shapes. The fear that you would try and fail publicly, that the thing you feel called to would expose you to ridicule or rejection, the fear that you were mistaken, that what you sense as calling is actually just wishful thinking, the fear that you have waited too long, that the opportunity has passed, that others have already done what you were meant to do, the fear that you are not qualified, that someone more prepared, more polished, more credentialed should be standing where you feel drawn to stand. The fear that stepping forward would mean stepping away from safety, and safety after everything you have been through felt like the only thing you could count on. I want to answer every one of those fears right now. You will not fail in a way that defeats my purpose. I have never commissioned someone for an assignment and then abandoned them to the outcome. I give what is needed for what I ask. What I call you to, I equip you for. Not always before the moment, but in the moment, which means the preparation you feel you are lacking will arrive precisely when you need it. Step toward the calling and watch what I release as you move. You are not mistaken about what you carry. I know you have questioned it. I know you have tried to talk yourself out of it. It seemed too large, too specific, too unlikely, but the longing was not random. Longings of that depth do not generate themselves. I placed it in you, and I placed it there deliberately. What you feel drawn toward is not a dream you invented. It is a picture I painted inside you of what I always intended. You have not waited too long. I do not operate on the world's timeline. I do not look at your age or your history and calculate whether it is too late. I look at readiness, and readiness is something I determine, not the calendar. Many of the ones I used most powerfully came into their fullness later than the world would have expected. The prolonged preparation was not failure. It was depth being built beneath the surface. What grows slowly grows strongest, and you are qualified. Not because of credentials, because of consecration, not because of what you have built, because of what you have been through. The very things that seem to disqualify you have shaped you for the work. The brokenness, the long seasons, the unconventional path, all of it has made you exactly right for what I am asking you to do. I do not need polished people. I need yielded ones. I need those who have been broken enough to know they cannot do this alone. That is who you are, and that is exactly who I need. The third seal is shattering now. What has been locked away is being released. The clarity you have been searching for is coming, not all at once because I never show you everything at once. But the next step is becoming visible. The next door is opening. The path forward is beginning to illuminate beneath your feet. You do not need the full map. You only need the next step. Take it. Leave the old seasons thinking behind. You cannot carry the smallness of what was into the fullness of what is coming. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Readiness is built by moving, not by waiting. Step forward. Not because you have everything figured out. Step forward because I am asking you to. That has always been enough. And it is enough today. Say, yes, Lord, if you are ready to walk into the purpose you were created for. Something has been set in motion in your life that I want to describe to you, because understanding it will change the way you move through the days ahead. When all three seals break, and they are breaking right now as these words reach your spirit, something is released that I can only describe this way. A drawing force, a spiritual gravity that begins to pull toward you the things I have ordained for your life. You will not need to chase what is yours. You will not need to force doors open or manufacture outcomes or hustle yourself into exhaustion, trying to make things happen in your strength. What is meant for you will begin finding you. Resources will start moving in your direction, not always in the ways you expect. I rarely work in the ways you expect because my paths are wider than your plans. An unexpected provision will arrive from a source you did not think to look to. Something you had written off will resurface. A door you stopped knocking on will open. An opportunity you never applied for will present itself. This is not luck. This is the law of my kingdom working on your behalf. The same law that says when you seek first what belongs to me, everything else is added. You have been seeking. The addition is coming. People will begin moving toward you rather than away from you. The right voices will find their way into your circle. Those who carry keys to your next level are being drawn by a force. They may not even understand. They will simply sense that they need to know you, that something in them recognizes something in you. Let them in. They are not accidents. When the right connection arrives wearing the face of a coincidence, know that I arranged the meeting. Nothing in this season is random. Everything that finds you is being sent. Favor will begin opening what opposition closed. Systems and structures that seem to work against you will shift. People who overlooked you will suddenly see you clearly. Processes that dragged and stalled will move forward. The ground that was hard beneath your feet is softening. What was resistant is becoming cooperative. Favor is not something you earn. It is something I grant, and I am granting it over your life right now in measure you have not experienced before. But I need to warn you about something when this shift begins. The opposition does not immediately retreat. In fact, when heaven begins to move powerfully on your behalf, the resistance often increases before it collapses. The enemy sees what is happening. He sees the momentum building, the doors beginning to swing, the provision beginning to flow, and he will launch one more wave of opposition to try to stop you before the breakthrough fully arrives. This is important for you to know, not to frighten you, but to prepare you. When discouragement presses in hard during this season, that is a sign you are close. When the voices of doubt get louder, just as the path seems to be clearing, that is not evidence that you were wrong. That is confirmation that you are right. The enemy only attacks what threatens him. If he is turning up the pressure, it is because he can see what you cannot yet see from where you are standing. He can see where this is heading, and it terrifies him. Do not let him redirect your attention from what I am doing to what he is attempting. Keep your eyes fixed on me. Keep your mouth speaking what I have declared, not what circumstances seem to suggest. This matters more than you may realize. Your words carry weight in the spirit. What you declare over your own life either cooperates with what I am releasing or works against it. If you keep declaring what the enemy has whispered, nothing ever changes. I will never get ahead. The door is always going to stay shut. You are agreeing with him, and you are pushing away what I am trying to send. Change your declarations. Not because speaking words is a formula or a magic ritual, but because your words reveal your faith, and your faith determines how fully you receive what I am releasing. Speak what you want to arrive, not what you fear is true. Speak provision, speak purpose, speak connection, speak health, speak peace restored. Let your mouth align with what heaven has already established over your life. There is something else I want to say about how you carry yourself in this season. Walk with the dignity of someone who is deeply loved by the God who made everything. Not in pride, in settled confidence. The world has a way of measuring people by their visible outcomes, by what they have accumulated or achieved or proven yet. But I do not measure you that way. I measure you by what I placed in you and by your faithfulness to it. And by that measure, you are already rich. Stay expectant. That word expectant is a posture, not just a feeling. It means you wake up each morning prepared to receive. You go through your day watching for what I am doing. You do not dismiss small signs as unimportant. You do not overlook a confirmation because you were looking for something larger. You live with the active awareness that I am moving in your situation, that my hand is on your life, that what I said is true even before you can see the evidence. Many people miss their breakthrough, not because it did not come, but because they had stopped watching for it. They had lowered their expectations after too many disappointments. And when the thing they had been praying for arrived, it came in a shape they were not expecting and they walked past it. Do not let that be you. Keep your heart open. Keep your eyes watching. The breakthrough may not arrive as you imagined, but it will arrive. And when it does, you will know. There is something I want you to understand about this new season that will protect you from unnecessary discouragement. Growth does not always look like growth while it is happening. A tree in winter looks dead. The leaves are gone. The branches are bare. Nothing visible is moving. But beneath the ground, the roots are still active, drawing strength, pressing deeper. What looks like stillness is often the most vital work. In the same way, there will be moments in what is coming where you will question whether anything is really changing. In those moments, trust the roots. Trust the work happening beneath what you can see. Things are moving. The season is shifting. Just because the fruit has not appeared does not mean the tree is not alive and growing. There is one more thing I want to speak over you before we close, and it may be the thing you needed most of all: healing. Not just healing in one area, healing across the full landscape of your life. I am speaking about the body that has been telling you something is wrong. I am speaking about the weariness that has gone so deep. It is not just tiredness, but something heavier. A kind of depletion that sleep alone cannot fix. I am speaking about the grief that has been sitting quietly in the background of your days, like a shadow you have learned to live around. I am speaking about the wound that is not fully closed, the one you think about when you are still, the one that aches when something brushes close to it. I am speaking about healing for all of it. I am the God who heals, not was, am what I did in every age I am still doing. The same power that has ever restored a broken body or a broken heart is fully active, fully present, fully available to you right now. I have not limited what I am willing to do in your life. I have not decided that your situation is too complicated or your need too large. There is no ceiling on my ability to heal, and there is no distance too great for my power to reach. Healing virtue is moving through your life right now, not because you earned it, but because I love you. And love does not leave its own in brokenness when it has the power to restore. The physical condition that has been troubling you is not beyond me. I made your body. I know every part of it, every function, every system, every place where something has gone wrong, and I am moving in those places now. Restoration is flowing into what was damaged. Strength is being returned to what was depleted. What the long season stole from you physically is being rebuilt by my hand, and the healing I am releasing is not only for your body, it is for the parts of you that pain has bent out of shape over the years, the part of you that learned to expect the worst because hope had let you down too many times, the part of you that stopped fully feeling things because feeling them was too costly, the part of you that wanted to trust but built walls instead because the last time you trusted someone, it cost you dearly. I am healing those parts gently, not by force. You cannot be forced into openness, but steadily as you allow me in, as you keep giving me the places that hurt instead of hiding them away. Steadily and surely I am making you whole. I want to say something specific about the peace that has been missing. There is a particular kind of peace, a deep settledness that lives below the surface of circumstances, that holds you even when everything around you is in motion, that I designed you to carry. It is the peace that passes understanding, the peace that the world did not give you, and the world cannot take from you. That peace has been robbed by the long seasons of strain and uncertainty. I am restoring it. You will begin to feel it returning, not as the absence of trouble, but as a quiet certainty beneath the trouble, an anchor that holds even when the water is rough. That is what is coming back to you. There is joy that has been buried under the weight of too many hard seasons. I am reaching for it, not the performed kind, not the smile that covers what is still breaking underneath, but real joy. The kind that rises from the deep places, the kind that persists even when life is still complicated and not everything is resolved, the kind that is not contingent on circumstances all making sense, the joy of knowing who holds you and knowing that what holds you will not let you go. I am also restoring years. I know what was lost. I know the seasons that passed that should have looked different, that should have held more life, more laughter, more fulfillment than they did. What the long drought took from you is not gone beyond recovery. I am a God who restores, not by going backwards. I do not take you backwards, but by giving you a compressed season of such fullness that it replenishes what was missing. What was poured out will be refilled. What was worn thin will be renewed. What was taken will be returned. The account of loss is not the final account. I want you to know something that I need you to carry with you from this moment forward. I am with you, not as a figure from history, as a living presence beside you right now. Every morning you rise, I am already there. Every step you take into the unknown, I have already gone before you. Every moment you face that you feel unequipped for, I am standing beside you in it. There is not a room you will ever walk into, not a conversation you will ever face, not a decision you will ever make alone. I am in all of it. There will be days ahead when this season will be tested. Old fears will knock at the door of your thoughts. The voice of discouragement will try to make you forget what has been declared here. In those moments, come back to what you know, not what you feel in the moment. What you know that I am faithful. You know that my promises are not empty. You know that I carried you through everything before, and what carried you through before is still here, still holding, still faithful. You are more than a conqueror, not in your own strength, but in mine. You do not need to manufacture courage. You do not need to pretend the road ahead is effortless. You only need to keep walking with me on it, trusting that I see what you cannot yet see, and that what I see is already good. I went before you to prepare the way. The road you are stepping onto has already been walked by me. You are not going somewhere I have not been. Follow me. I know the way through. The greatest chapter of your life is not the one behind you. It is the one beginning right now. Every promise spoken here belongs to you. Receive it, walk in it, and watch what I do. This is not the end of a conversation. It is the beginning of a different way of walking. You have been waiting for signs, for massive shifts, for the ground to tremble, but I am often found in the quiet persistence of your next right step. Do not look for applause or validation from the world to confirm your progress. True movement is internal, measured by your alignment with truth, not by the noise around you. Keep your focus steady. Carry this conviction into your ordinary day, your difficult conversations, and your silent moments. I am doing more than you can see, declare. I trust you, Lord, if you receive everything spoken over your life today. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.